What if I told you there's a way to grow potatoes so abundantly, so effortlessly productive, that it was quietly erased from agricultural textbooks, not because it failed, but because it succeeded too well? Welcome to Golden Garden Vault, where we uncover the forgotten techniques that turn ordinary gardeners into food-growing masters. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you'll want to be here for every vault we open. We're revealing secrets the agricultural industry hoped would remain forgotten. Today, we're exploring a method from 1905 that consistently tripled potato yields, reduced labor to almost nothing, and produced cleaner, healthier crops than conventional farming methods. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to implement it in your garden this season. In the early 1900s, farmers across Eastern Europe, rural France, and parts of Russia were doing something extraordinary. Small-scale plots produced harvests that left visiting agronomists baffled. They were getting 3 times the yield from the same land with virtually no disease and minimal effort. No fertilizers, no chemicals, hardly any digging. They had discovered a technique that modern agriculture has spent over a century trying to make us forget. Agricultural bulletins from 1905 documented this method. They called it surface-mulch cultivation. It was elegantly simple. Farmers placed seed potatoes directly on the soil surface, covered them with thick layers of straw, leaves, or other organic matter, and then did almost nothing. No hilling, no trenching, no constant disturbance, just layers upon layers of organic mulch. The results were astonishing. Yields doubled or tripled. Potatoes were cleaner, diseases were rare, labor requirements dropped by over 80%. If this method already intrigues you, leave a comment now saying, "I'm trying this." Let me know how many viewers are ready to break free from conventional potato growing. So, if this worked so well, why has almost no one heard of it today? The answer lies in the uncomfortable truth about modern agriculture. By the 1910s and 1920s, farming shifted from feeding families to feeding markets. Mechanization became essential. Tractors, planters, harvesters, they demanded uniform rows, standardized depths, and exposed soil. Surface mulch cultivation could not be mechanized, it could not be controlled by machines, and most importantly, it could not be monetized. Think about it. This method eliminated the need for repeated tilling, hilling, chemical fertilizers, irrigation systems, and specialized harvesting equipment. One simple technique broke the chain of dependency that industrial agriculture was building.
By the 1930s, this method had quietly disappeared from textbooks, not because it didn't work. On the contrary, every trial confirmed its superiority, but because it didn't fit the emerging model of industrial agriculture. Extension offices labeled it primitive and unsanitary. Garden magazines warned against rot and rodents, even though field evidence proved the opposite. The method that worked best for biology was erased because it didn't work for business. But here's the thing, they could not erase the method itself. It still works, and at Golden Garden Vault, we're bringing it back. Before we jump into the step-by-step instructions, ask yourself, are you tired of back-breaking garden labor? Frustrated by disappointing harvests despite all your effort? If that's you, hit the like button now. Your support helps us continue uncovering these forgotten techniques. Let's explore why this method produces such extraordinary results. It's not magic, it's biology. Potatoes are native to the Andes Mountains of South America, growing in loose, organic, rich soils layered with plant debris. When we bury them deep in compacted soil and repeatedly disturb the beds with hilling, we fight against their natural design. Recent soil science confirms what those early 1900s farmers observed. Temperature regulation. Organic mulch keeps soil between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, the optimal range for tuber formation. Bare soil fluctuates, stressing the plants. Oxygen availability. Loose, layered mulch allows air to reach developing tubers. Compacted soil suffocates them. Vertical growth. Each new mulch layer encourages potatoes to form tubers at multiple levels. One seed potato becomes a vertical tower of production. Microbial networks. Undisturbed soil under mulch fosters beneficial fungi. Nutrient uptake can improve 200 to 300%. Hilling destroys these networks. If this makes sense so far, drop a comment below. I want to know you're following along with the science behind the method. Now the part you've been waiting for, the step-by-step guide to using this method in your garden. Step 1. Site selection. Your first step is choosing the right location. Drainage is critical. Potatoes dislike standing water. It can rot tubers and promote fungal diseases. But perfect soil isn't required. Surface mulch cultivation is forgiving. You don't need perfectly tilled beds. Any spot with loose topsoil and sunlight exposure will do. Consider sunlight carefully. Potatoes need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sun per day. Too little light slows growth and reduces tuber formation. Avoid areas shaded by trees or structures. Timing matters too. Soil temperature should reach at least 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and the threat of hard frost must be passed. In most temperate regions, that means 2 to 3 weeks before your last expected frost date. In warmer climates, you can start earlier. The goal is simply to give potatoes a gentle, stable environment so they can focus energy on growth rather than survival. Step 2. Surface placement. Now comes the core of the technique. Do not dig. Forget trenches, forget deep planting. Place your seed potatoes directly on the soil surface. If the soil is slightly compacted, gently loosen the very top layer with a fork. No turning over, no hilling. This preserves the soil structure and beneficial microbial life beneath. Space each potato 12 to 15 inches apart. Wider spacing allows lateral expansion and airflow, reducing disease risk. Each potato has room to send up sprouts and expand its root system. If your soil is fertile, these potatoes will start forming multiple stolons almost immediately, reaching into the mulch layers you'll add next. Think of this as creating a potato-friendly environment rather than forcing potatoes to conform to human-imposed rules. Step 3. First mulch layer. Here's where magic begins. Cover your seed potatoes with 8 to 10 inches of organic material. The thickness is crucial. Too thin and soil temperature fluctuates, moisture retention is limited, and tuber formation is limited. Too thick initially and sprouts might struggle, but the 8 to 10 inch range has proven perfect for starting growth. The materials you choose matter. Use straw, aged leaves, wood chips, shredded cardboard, or dried grass clippings mixed with carbon-rich material. Avoid fresh grass alone. It compacts, heats unevenly, and can suffocate sprouts. The goal is airflow, insulation, and moisture retention, all while feeding the soil life beneath. This initial layer is the foundation of your vertical potato tower. Beneath it, soil organisms awaken, fungi connect with roots, and moisture is held consistently, protecting your potatoes from temperature swings and desiccation. Step 4. Successive layering. As sprouts emerge and grow, begin adding successive layers of mulch, roughly 3 to 4 inches every 2 to 3 weeks. The principle here is vertical expansion. Potatoes naturally form tubers at the boundary between soil and mulch. Each new layer creates a fresh boundary for additional tuber formation. Think of it as building a potato skyscraper. One seed potato can eventually produce tubers at multiple vertical levels, dramatically increasing yield. Be patient, don't rush. Each layer must settle slightly, but it should not compress the layers beneath. You're creating a living, breathing environment for potatoes to multiply upward, not a heap of organic matter. By mid-season, mulch layers can reach 12 to 18 inches. The plants will be thriving beneath, developing clean, healthy tubers in multiple layers simultaneously.
Step 5. Hands-off management. This is where most gardeners struggle, but it's the key to success. Resist the urge to dig, check progress, or adjust constantly. Do not add fertilizer. The mulch and soil ecosystem feed the plants naturally. Water only during extended droughts, as the mulch retains moisture so well that many gardeners report never watering. As the season progresses, you'll notice that the plants remain healthy with minimal intervention. The mulch protects emerging tubers from pests, regulates temperature, and allows beneficial soil life to flourish. Let the biology do its work. You're a caretaker, not a controller. This is the moment when gardeners begin to understand why modern agriculture prefers digging, hilling, and fertilizing. The natural, low-labor approach is easier, but it doesn't create dependence. It doesn't justify selling tractors, chemicals, or labor-intensive tools. Step 6. Harvest. When plants start to yellow and die back in late summer or early fall, it's harvest time. Simply pull back the mulch carefully. Potatoes are clean, undamaged, and ready to eat or store. The beauty of this method is extended harvest. You don't have to dig all at once. Remove what you need and leave the rest under mulch for weeks or even months, depending on climate. Tubers remain protected from frost and pests longer than buried potatoes in conventional rows. You'll notice significantly less effort. No shovels, no mud-caked hands, no broken tubers. Simply lift layers, collect what's needed, and enjoy the abundance. Here is what you can expect. 1. It yields 200 to 300% higher than conventional planting. 2. Labor is reduced by 80%, mostly limited to adding mulch layers. 3. Soil improves over time. Organic matter decomposes, worms flourish, nutrients accumulate. 4. Disease and pest pressure drops. Blight slows, Colorado potato beetles are deterred, soil-borne diseases decline. 5. Extended harvest. Tubers remain viable longer under mulch, giving you fresh potatoes across weeks or months, depending on climate. Now, here's your call. Share this video with one person who needs to see it, a gardener struggling with potatoes or someone striving for food independence. Try this method this season. Document it. Share results in the comments. Let's build a community proving that forgotten, old-school methods often outperform modern, input-heavy approaches. Subscribe to Golden Garden Vault for more lost techniques the industry didn't want you to know. Hit the notification bell so you never miss the next vault. Remember, the best gardens aren't built with expensive inputs or exhausting labor. They're layered through knowledge, patience, and working with nature instead of against it. I'll see you when the next vault opens.